Hello, cuties. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dylan James. I'm a mindset coach that loves to specifically focus on relationships, and we are doing a take two of the video that I moved to the other side of my channel today because I still think that people need to hear the message that I was saying in my earlier message. If you're on the membership side, then I was very unapologetic with the delivery, and that's you guys, I'm not trying to sell, if you don't want to go on the membership side, you don't have to go on the membership side. I literally put all the answers up here. But on the membership side, I just really am very raw and unfiltered. And it's more of like adult content, like definitely 18 plus. If you're under 18 and you join my membership side, like you need to get permission. Okay. So, but I still think that the message needs to be heard as to what I was saying earlier, and I don't want anybody to feel like they're left out. But I just have I don't know, the that type of content, I sometimes you do need to hear somebody just being very direct and blunt so that it really gets into your mind. So that's the only reason why I have that side on my channel. Okay, so let's get into what I was saying though in that video, and I'm gonna try and deliver it in a very calm way because the passion that I bring to these topics is because it is not fun. It's really this is real life stuff, right? Like your relationships, this is not a joke, you guys. And so I want you to understand the importance about why I say what I say and the passion and the delivery that I bring to it, because I don't want you to be in a low place or just kind of getting dragged through the mud in life, listening to what all these different people are saying. And sometimes I just don't want that for you. It's a really crappy thing, right? And I've been there. So what I was saying in that video and what I'm going to say in today's video, okay, is, and I made a community post about this last night, right? Those videos that are 15 red flags that your person is blah, blank, right? How to get their attention. If they're turning their phone over and putting it on the desk, that's a bad sign. Okay. All of these things that are actually completely irrelevant, that don't actually hold any meaning. First off, the first thing that I want to say, if you're doing that, if you find yourself naturally gravitate towards that content, or you are staying up late at night, wondering what your partner is doing, trying to figure out what's going on in your relationship, I want you to realize that you are in a very triggered state of being. Your feeling state is really, really off. You are feeling insecure. You're feeling doubtful. You're not feeling confident with the direction that your relationship is going in. There may be things going on in your reality that are triggering for you, that are fueling that feeling state. But if you want to create the solution for your relationship, then the more you engage in that content, the more you watch it, the more you start to pick up on these things that, again, having the phone turned over doesn't mean anything. But if you start assigning that meaning to it, oh, they're trying to hide something from me. Oh, they're doing something that is suspicious. If you stay in that feeling state and that's where your awareness is going, and you keep knowing that into being, you're going to see that you begin to have a lot of relationship problems, and your person starts showing up like that more and more and more, and you get more and more triggered. And then you're going to have some really, really, really big problems in your relationship. And I don't think people go to watching that type of content because they want problems. Your whole intention is you want to fix your relationship, you want to figure out what's going on. So I'm going to tell you what's going on. Okay. There are a lot of narratives out in society. There are a lot of people that have been hurt, that have been through bad experiences, that are just relaying their experiences, and they're trying to tell you these things for you to watch out so that you don't get hurt. But that doesn't mean that it's actually true. At the end of the day, you yourself, only you know what has gone on in your relationship. And I can guarantee, what I was saying in that video is, your partner doesn't just randomly change for no reason. Things don't start going wrong in your relationship for no reason. If everything is going really, really great, and then all of a sudden, you start feeling anxious, you start noticing that you're having thoughts of oh, this is too good to be true. Oh, I wonder if they're finding other people attractive. And then all of a sudden your person starts changing and reflecting that back to you. You have to see the correlation between what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you're dominantly entertaining, and then what starts to become your experience. So the crux of this whole message that I'm putting out here today, and why I want you to stop looking at those things is because if you're very serious about fixing your relationship, you have to first and foremost feel confident, good, loved within yourself, back to how you felt when you first met this person, right? Because your feeling state really, really matters. But not only that, you want to ask yourself, what got triggered within me? What story did I have? Do I not trust men? Do I not trust women? Do I feel like I'm going to be used? Do I feel like I'm always going to be ghosted? Am I afraid that I'm going to be just a friends with benefits? What are the actual beliefs and stories that I'm carrying around up here that are getting triggered in this moment? Because if you can address that in your belief system and really realize, like, if you're doing any of the things I just listed earlier, you have to realize that the importance of feeling confident and good within yourself again, because your person totally likes you, they're totally into you, they totally want to be with you. The only thing you have to do is continue to just be you, to continue to have fun, to enjoy the relationship, stop being suspicious of them, stop being worried about them, stop trying to force or manipulate anything, and continue to know it into being. And there may be little things where your partner pops up, like the turning the phone over. Okay. If you can really like step in and be like, wait, that literally doesn't mean anything. Like, that is not even like a bad thing. Like, it's actually not my business what's on their phone or what they're doing on their phone. It's not my business what they're doing on social media. I'm just going to trust them. I'm going to love them. I'm going to make a good assumption here. I'm not going to see that as a problem. If you can generally feel that way and exist that way, you will see that that goes away and they like give you the password to their phone or whatever. They start like sharing these things with you. So it's when you find yourself hyper focusing on these aspects, and this is the whole problem with all those videos and all those articles, is you're feeling off, you're triggered, you have a negative story going on in your mind. And imagine how you're going to be when you're around your person, when you're spending all your time marinating there. If when I'm not with you, I'm marinating in anxiety, worry, doubt, fear, obsession, hyper focusing on all these different things, outside of just the manifestational perspective, when I'm actually with you, in my body language and how I'm showing up and how I'm interacting with you, it's going to be very evident that I'm worried about something, I'm suspicious about something, I am feeling defensive, I'm feeling not safe in this relationship. It's going to translate and continue to create as your experience. So don't try and just change the story about them. Okay? So if you're in this place where you're doing these things and you're feeling really really triggered, my biggest recommendation is to stop watching that content, stop stop talking to everybody about this in your reality, stop engaging with this, cut everything out that's triggering you. Even if that means like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to think about my person today. I need to remember who I am. What can I do that helps me feel confident? Okay? Shift your feeling state. Ask yourself what beliefs need to be addressed. Okay, so I need to feel more stable. I need to feel more secure. I need to feel more confident with my ability to create the relationship that I desire. I need to be able to know these things into being, because if I don't know that for myself, if I don't know that my relationship is going to be successful and stable and secure, who's going to know that for me? This is where we have to take ownership, because if everything was going good and then you get triggered and you start manifesting these behaviors and these awarenesses, and then your person starts acting differently, well, what led up to that? We have to take ownership for that. And so if you can make this whole process about building the best beliefs, shifting your feeling state, and then when you're out of that triggered space and you notice that the obsessive compulsive behaviors have changed, they're not there anymore, you're feeling good with yourself again, then you can start to come in and build that new story or reaffirm in what it is that, no, they totally love me. They totally are so into me. They find me so attractive. They love this relationship. They love and respect me. They are loyal and committed to me. They are always honest with me. If they ever made a mistake, they would own it. They want the best for me. They want the best for us. We're always going in a positive direction. I believe in us. I believe in our relationship. And I feel really good and confident with the direction that this is going in. But first, it's going to be very difficult, in my opinion, to do that if your feeling state is off. So that's why it's important to make sure that you address those beliefs and you address how you're feeling and you get back to that space that you felt like when you first met your person. Then when you're there, you should be able to persist and know these things into being. Also, another thing, I saw somebody on my channel write a comment. This video is so much more relaxed than the other one, you guys. So that's why I was like, that's definitely going on the membership side, because on the membership side, I was like, I was coming at you guys' throats about this. So like, again, like, I'm not saying that you have to go and join that. I'm going to make sure that I do the same videos here. Just on the membership side, I'm like very, very blunt with it. Okay. Here's the other thing. Somebody wrote a comment and they said, it might be healthy for somebody to look at that stuff if they are like in a relationship that's not good. Okay. If you build your beliefs up, so if you work on your self-image and your self-concept, I've said this in content before. Okay. When you start to revalue, reprioritize yourself, and you drop this narrative and this story, you're going to see if this relationship is worth persisting through. Okay. So most like life is not happening to you though, you guys. Like how do we get in abusive dynamics with people? This is not to victim blame or anything like that, and this may not be a popular opinion, but I'm showing you how to have a relationship with me based on what I believe and feel, based on how confident I am. Like, if I'm very solid in who I am and I'm very solid in knowing what I deserve and what's going to unfold in my life, then I'm not ever going to entertain or allow for somebody to show up in a way where they can treat me with disrespect and continue to treat me with disrespect. So, abusive dynamics, my heart goes out for it. Like, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but you have to really see like why where did you get to this position where somebody felt like it was appropriate and okay to treat you this way, to speak to you this way, to talk to you this way? Like, were you disempowered? Were you not actually knowing your worth and value? Were you not feeling strong enough within yourself? Like, and that's in your belief system. Okay. So you shouldn't be forming abusive dynamics with people if your self image and your self concept is genuinely aligned. And this is why we can change relationships. You can fix relationships. You don't have to give up. You can create a new story. You can build a completely new belief system. You can sustain a new feeling state. And you're going to see that a lot of the problems in your life start to naturally change when you become the change. Life's not just happening to you. But if you go through this journey of like building better beliefs and stabilizing in your nervous system, which ways to stabilize your nervous system, let's talk about that. Breath work, EFT tapping. I've been seeing some people doing hypnotherapy. If that's what you want to do, you don't have to. Sleeping with the beliefs on is a really great alternative. Um, Anything, working out, anything that helps. You have to realize if you're in this space of what I was just talking about at the beginning of this video, you have to make this about you for a little bit. You need to get back to space of stability within yourself and having strong confidence in who you are and remembering who you are. Because the moment you remember who you are and you unapologetically step into that version of yourself, and then you can hold a knowing, everybody and everything is going to respond to that because that's already what's happening. Right. So if you go through this process, like to get to that point, yeah, maybe looking at some of those things would like educate you to know like, oh, I'm not going to put up with that. That's not going to be a part of my experience. But there's a huge difference between educating yourself and what you're not going to be putting up with, and then looking at all these things, dwelling in it, fearing that it's going to happen, being suspicious of your partner, feeling disempowered, feeling worried, feeling anxious, can't function in your life, thinking about this all the time, and being like constantly triggered by them, and like your awareness is constantly going there. Okay. If that's where like there's a huge difference between those two, educating yourself and then feeling into this, dwelling on this, being anxious about it, being worried about it, anticipating that it's going to occur. Okay. Because what I'm talking about there, that is you knowing something into being. That is you feeling a certain way. That is you creating a story, and that's you persisting in it. And you're going to see that it materializes. So, and that's where a lot of people mess up their relationships, is because at the beginning they're having fun, they're feeling great, and they're not worried about their person, and everything goes smooth. And then all of a sudden, the moment that the commitment starts to come in, all these narratives, all these worries, all these doubts, all these fears, everything that everybody's saying in society, things to look out for, like all these things start getting triggered. And then you start changing and you start not feeling confident in your relationship, and your partner starts to reflect that back to you. So be very, very mindful. Like, be very mindful, you guys, because you can have the relationship that you desire, and it can be sustainable, and it can be that honeymoon period forever. The good morning text and all these things don't have to go away, but it's based on how you're showing up, what you're believing, what you're feeling, what you're continually entertaining. So make sure that you're very aware of what you're doing. And also, last thing I want to talk about here, okay? I don't like this in society. I'm a funny, like I'm a fun person. I know, like I love jokes. I think jokes are so funny. Like I think, like I'm not trying to say this like, you know, what I'm about to say here. I'm not saying that like you shouldn't like laugh at things, okay? But what a lot of people do, like, is they make jokes about being single or relationships or men or women, and they continue to make these jokes like, oh, I'm always the person that gets left out. It's so funny. Oh, relationships are so difficult. Ha ha ha. Like, you see all those meme pages on Instagram and all that. It's not like, yeah, it may be funny in the moment, but every time that you laugh at that and you relate to it and you feed into it, and that's your experience, that's what you're experiencing in your life. It's not funny. You're actually reaffirming in that experience and you're keeping yourself stuck. So at what point are you going to realize, wow, this is actually not funny. This is not the story that I want to have. I don't want to engage in this content anymore. I'm really sick and tired of this. I'm going to decide to be the change. Yeah, that might be funny here and there. Like, haha, okay, can't relate to that anymore. Like, I remember that, but nope, not part of my story anymore. But like, when you guys are constant, like, you guys do this with your friends, like, you laugh about these things that are actually not funny. Like, yeah, it may be funny because you've experienced it and like, okay, maybe laughter and joking about it is a nice way of coping, but is it actually funny? It's not really that funny. It's not funny to be joking about how like you're always getting ghosted. It's not funny to joke about how like you get drunk and then text your ex and blow up their phone. Like, not funny, you guys. Okay? Like, this is real life stuff, and like if you continue to identify with it and reaffirm that into your mind, it's going to continue to be your experience. So please be mindful with the content that you're watching and realize the importance of building yourself up and seeing that your relationship, your romantic relationship is the physical manifestation of the relationship that you're having with yourself and what you dominantly expect and assume is going to be your life story. So you have to make sure that the story that you're writing for yourself and how you're feeling about yourself and how you're characterizing relationships and what you're assuming is in alignment with what you want to experience. And it doesn't have to be a really hard process. You don't have to be really paranoid, you guys. Like, if you have a negative thought here and there, that's fine. Like, don't be afraid of your mind. Just choose to be more conscious. Recognize where you are on your journey. If you're triggered and you're not feeling good and you're materializing these behaviors, recognize that you need to take some time to focus on yourself and get into a better feeling space within yourself, work on your beliefs. And then when you dominantly feel better, start to really entertain how people are going to show up for you and what your story is going to be. Okay. This was so much more of a relaxed approach. Like, if you guys saw the other live stream, you're like, wow, like, yeah, I probably could have delivered the message this way earlier, but like sometimes I get very passionate about these things because it's not funny, you guys. Like, it is not funny. It's so self-defeating. It's like total self-sabotage. And like, again, like I said, there's a huge difference between educating yourself and then dwelling in something. And most people, when they look at that stuff, they're dwelling in it. And like, my heart goes out to you because it's not a fun place. And you need to really recognize the seriousness of what I'm talking about on my channel because you deserve love. You deserve the relationship that you desire, and you have to start cutting out these things that are not working for you, and you have to realize the importance of this is your life. Like, this is your life. What you're focusing on and what you're entertaining is creating in your life. Be very mindful of the content that you're watching because it's not funny, it's not a joke when that's your actual life. We got to stop doing this online. Okay? All right. That's all I got to say. I love you guys. I'll see you later. Bye.